Everybody, and welcome to my success tip blog. This is day 17 of our 55-day journey from being unemployed, overweight, broke, and slightly depressed to a place of financial stability, hopefully a good job or at least a good cash flow income of some sort, and being in a little bit better shape, or at least a lot better shape than where we're at right now. If you've been following the blog, I've been sharing success tips with you each day, things that I'm learning as I go through the process that hopefully will be useful to you as well if you find yourself in the same situation that I'm in. On today's blog, I want to start first by giving a shout out to my Green Bay Packer fans out there that might be watching. And since we're right around the corner from starting preseason, I had to support the Green Bay colors today, so go Pack. But as we go on with day 17 today, I wanted to talk about the law of attraction, and not the law of attraction necessarily in the way that you might have learned about it. I know that the DVD and book came out, The Secret, some years ago, not too long ago, but it came out. And if you were like me, you watched it and you thought, okay, this is a pretty easy concept. All I have to do is sit and think about something that I want, and if I keep thinking that I already have it, then I'll have it. And both you and I know that that's not necessarily true. I can sit here all day long and wish that I had the build of, I'll throw it out there, like even Sylvester Stallone at his age right now in his 60s, but it's not going to happen. I work out all day at the gym and I'm not going to be in that kind of shape. It's just not in the cards for me. And, you can't just say, well, just because I'm going to wish for it, I'm going to get it. But on the flip side, though, I don't want to rain down on the law of attraction, because I think the law of attraction is a lot longer term and broader than just that, than thinking about specifically getting one thing, that it's your little wish tank or your little genie in the bottle that you'll get. And so what I want to share with you today in regards to the law of attraction is just your general outlook on how things are going to turn out for you. I know we've covered faith, we've covered optimism, we've covered attitude in this video series, and all of that's good. But if you're like me, you might have started out saying, okay, I'm going to try to have a positive attitude and be optimistic about my situation and know that things are going to get better, have faith that things are going to get better. And every day, day in, day out, you wish. But then within a few days or maybe a week, you lose that optimism. Your optimism fades, and all of a sudden, maybe, every day there's still another bill in the mailbox. Even though you keep thinking, I don't want bills, I want checks, you're still getting bills. So just wishing it away doesn't make it go away. You have to take steps to do something. But the hardest thing is that we all think that we're either optimistic or pessimistic, right? You can line up 10 different people, and I bet that you work with, and I bet if I came in the room and said, okay, Jan, tell me what's this person like? Are they optimistic or pessimistic? And we could go down the line of all 10 people, and I could point at them, and you would say, that one's optimistic, that one's a pessimist, that one's optimist, and that one's an optimist, that one's a pessimist. And it's either black or white, but that's not necessarily true. Actually, that's not true. There is no such thing. There are extremes, I guess, on the prism, on the scale, if you will, of how optimistic people are. There's this super, super, super optimist that sometimes, we meet and we avoid in the hallways because it's just so optimistic that it almost comes across as fake and not realistic. One of those people that just seems overly medicated. And then there's the other extreme where it's like, oh my gosh, it can be sunny with one cloud in the sky, and this person will swear that that one cloud is going to strike them with lightning and it's going to rain right over your building where you work, even though the rest of the sky is sunny, and you avoid those people too. But there's a whole bunch of different people in the middle of that spectrum as well. And that's what I want to talk about today. We all have different shades of optimism. We all have different shades of how we perceive life and how we are implementing and using the law of attraction in our life. Not all of us are super optimistic. Not all of us are super pessimistic. There's different degrees of it, and we can learn how to change our degree. You don't have to think that, well, just because today I'm in a bad mood and I'm not feeling it, that you are a pessimist. You may not be a pessimist. You may simply be an optimist who's having a bad day. And I want you to understand that the next day, or even later that day, you have to just really strive and push yourself into a better place in your mind, emotionally, mentally, to be more optimistic that things are going to work out. But it's not always easy. As I've went through this video series, this video blog series, and sharing success tips with all of you based on the situation that I'm finding myself in, I have went back to my library and dug through books that I read in the past and years ago, and I'm sure some of you might say, well, if you had these books, why are you having these problems now? Well, just understand, just because you learned something in school 20 years ago doesn't mean that at some point you're not going to forget it. You probably will forget it, and things come up. And so, but I did go through my library, and I'm digging out books and rereading them and finding books that I think are applicable for you to look at. One of the books that I found that I'd forgotten about, it's called Learned Optimism, and the author's name is Dr. Martin Seligman, and again, Learn Optimism. It's an excellent book to help you understand how, first off, where you're at right now in your level of optimism. Because remember, your optimism affects the law of attraction. The more optimistic you are, and the more you think and hope and expect positive things to happen in your life, the more likely that you are going to make that reality come true. It's just the way it is. What you sow, you reap. We all know this, that anybody who's been in business or has read business books or seen speakers, we know that what you sow, you reap, and what you think about all the time is what comes to fruition or comes true. And so we know that, but you have to have an optimistic attitude, and you might be on a certain level of the optimism scale and want to try to move your way up to a different level. This is an excellent book on that. It helps you understand where you're at right now and then how you can help yourself get to a different level of optimism on the optimism spectrum. So take heart if you don't feel like you're optimistic enough to let the law of attraction work in your life today. Don't be upset about that. Understand that you can change your optimism, and not in a fake, fluff it up, let's be insincere and not genuine way, but in a way that you can actually learn techniques and things that will help you become more optimistic, and therefore to implement the law of attraction more successfully in your life, so that things that you hope for will come true. So again, this book, Learned Optimism, check it out. Hope it helps you. This is, again, day 17 blog. Check in again tomorrow for day 18, and we'll move forward from there. Have a terrific day.